Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the BCSN
Yeah,
Game Time Show.
They're gonna bring John Granite.
We'll get you in a few minutes as we are here live from what's the name of the place we're at again?
We in College Park, Georgia, at the Gateway Center.
The Gateway Center at College Park, Georgia. But we are here for the 2026 Pepsi SWAC basketball tournament presented by Buick, also being built by the Home Depot, as they are one of the sponsors that are here, along with Cricket Wireless. And we'll get into a little bit more of the Cricket Wireless information shortly. Of course, we're waiting for our friend, our guy, John Grant, to come over, the executive director of both the MEAC SWAC Challenge and the Celebration Bowl. He's going to come and sit down and join the cast. And, of course, I have Mr. Mike Shepard joining us. Also, the dean himself, Dr. Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, doing what he does and getting it in. So, gentlemen, again, what's it been like, man? We saw another game. I mean, it wasn't as highly contested as the other one, as the women's game, but it was shocking. I mean, it was
well,
shocking.
Actually, what happened that you said that A&M Bulldogs had to be careful of letting Horn get going in Wales, and once they got going and what they were able to do, shut them down defensively, it was over early.
8 minutes left in the first half, and you knew what you were looking at, Doc.
I agree.
We knew what we were looking at. It was the Horns Wales show.
You got it. So we punched 2 championship tickets here in terms of the SWAC tournament championship game.
Already.
One on the women's side, which is Southern and a buzzer beater essentially. And then Prairie View did one going away against Alabama A&M in terms of the second contest that you just talked about.
Right.
And also in the MEAC, we have a all-final matchup we can talk about as they do their women's games in the morning. So you had Howard getting the victory and defeating Coppin State 65-50. And then you have Norfolk State pulling away late from Maryland Eastern Shore 60-51. So you have what we've come to expect in the MEAC is a matchup between Howard and Norfolk State. This time I think people are going to be leaning towards Howard as the number 1 seed that has dominated all year long. Unlike Alabama A&M, they got knocked off by Southern. They look poised to do the regular season and the tournament.
Well, if you're Southern, you waited to the perfect game to have your best game, and that's what it's all about. Roy, you and I were talking about this just moments before we came on air with this Prairie View team. If you're going to get hot, this is the time to do it. When you talk about the automatic bid for the SWAC conference to the tournament.
Absolutely.
You know, the unlikelihood that even with a powerful 1 seed having a great season, still getting the automatic bid, you know, unfortunately, we're just not at that point right now.
Correct.
So this automatic bid, winning this tournament means everything.
It's huge.
And so you prepare your team to get that momentum going into this tournament. And Prairie View right now, they're putting on a master class. Their men are putting on a master class of how to play in a tournament.
I'd like to speak a little more on that. The other part of that sometimes is being fortunate and being healthy at the right time.
Right.
Prairie View injuries came middle part of the SWAC play, which hurt them in terms of their seeding. But I think for them, and any team, as you said, you want to be playing your best basketball, which ultimately a lot of times means you're healthy. Some of the other teams are not quite as healthy, even though they played better basketball early in the season.
Right.
I.e. Bethune-Cookman that lost their big man. Some people say the injury. Some people say it was NCAA got in the way in terms of reneging, in terms of their affiliate on that. We'll find out the details. But regardless, you talk about Alabama A&M, a couple of injuries they were able to fight through the season. But in that tournament, when everything counts, you really want to be playing your best basketball and be as healthy as possible, or at least people feeling good about their body at this time.
That's right.
You know, and it's definitely one of those situations where we talk about it, peaking and being there, being in the space and saying, no, we have it set. Put it back. We had it set for John because John's walking in, so we'll get it. Okay, cool. We are definitely talking about being in that best space. And we've talked about it. I heard you guys talk about it all season, Doc. All the shows said the same thing. On the men's side, anybody 1 through 8 could win. They were that close. And if you look at it we had to go through, I think the SWAC had to go through like 3 levels of tiebreakers just to set the seedings for it.
Correct.
With most of the teams, because most of them split throughout the year. So as good as Bethune-Cookman was in their wins and all that kind of stuff, being the number 1 seed, that doesn't necessarily mean that the team that comes out 5, 2 through 8, that I think ends up being left, might not be that bad, because you guys mentioned it in the last segment. Everybody has somebody that their coach can depend on and say, go get me a bucket now.
Well, I think it kind of goes back to what Doc was just talking about. You got a Prairie View team who lost some games because of injury.
Yeah, Joseph, that you talked about,
right?
That's not playing quite his level. It worked out because Horn figured that he can lead, to your point that you're bringing. But he had 3 straight games he missed.
Right.
And you would like to think if he played, you get, one of the 3? That's a difference in seeding.
2 of the 3.
Maybe 2 of the 3. You're really in a different spot in the conference. So
and to that point, I think it played well for Prairie View because they are a strong team coming in as that 8th seed. They were able to sharpen their iron in that first game of the tournament. You get that first win over the 1 seed, iron sharpens iron. Now you're psychologically looking at these other teams like we've already beat the best.
I like where your mind goes.
That's right.
Because once you get the upset over the 1 seed, you basically get the advantage of the 1 seed, which means they had the day off.
Yes.
They played Alabama A&M that just played yesterday.
Yes.
So you playing all these games, legs are tied, and your team gets an extra day. You'll take it if you're the coach and you're playing well. Now you can pound folks, play position basketball, and it makes it harder for a team that got to come back because they exhausted so much energy. So they made a run in the second half, but then Prairie View answered that run, and it was over.
And style of play.
Before you keep going with that, Liv, let's get you to go ahead and come on in. We'll get John when he gets in, because you guys are talking analysis, you're talking information, and we've got to bring another one of the gurus in. She's getting her thing on. Can you adjust that back so before we can make sure she's in the shot? All right, Liv. Now, Liv, you just left the pressers, right?
Yes.
So what did you hear in the pressers? What were you talking about? And what were your thoughts on this last game?
Yeah, so Byron was just talking about how I asked him if he felt it was a Cinderella story, because a lot of people are going with that.
Great question.
He really didn't believe that. He said they had the pieces, they just fought adversity. But if you're going off of what a Cinderella story is, then sure, you can call it that. But he believed in his team believed in themselves, and they knew they were prepared for this moment. On the other side, Coach Jackson you could tell he was very emotional and just focused on helping his players. That's really all he cared about, was ensuring that his student athletes were okay and that they felt good in the moment. He also said that this game doesn't take away from the success that they had, beating teams in out of conference they've never beat before, the first winning regular season in A&M in was it ever, or in the past
20
something since they've been in D1.
Oh wow.
And he's like, us sitting at 18-5 and losing in this game doesn't take away from what we did this year. So he really just wanted to be there emotionally for his players, and that was really his focus. What I took away from this game is, I feel like I said Prairie View was ready for the moment. I've been telling everyone who would listen, I said Prairie View is hot right now. You can tell that these players truly enjoy playing with each other, and they also want to win for Byron. When you have 4 players, people do count Joseph out because he hasn't been hot lately, but a player who is averaging at 1 point about 26 points per game, I'm never going to think they can't score. But when you have Dante Horn, who goes off again for almost 30 points, you have Lance Williams, who ended up with 18, Corey Wells, who ended up with 17, and then Corey Dunning, who is really their unsung hero, who gives great interior presence, and especially at the rim. Man, this is looking like one of Byron Smith's championship winning teams at this moment. And I feel like, they're really setting up for a very competitive 40 minutes tomorrow.
And to her point, I would give a shout out because they pulled you off the bench on HBCU Nightly Sunday night to get you to comment. And everybody was talking about everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I was beating it. I was like, somebody talk about Prairie View because of the injuries that we talked about. Mm-hmm. Everybody overlooked them and just looked at their record. Smith hasn't had his greatest coaching moments over the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. So they become an afterthought. But I'm like, you got a championship level coach. Mm-hmm. You got players that are really confident, playing well. They had won 5 straight games, 3 going into the tournament. But 7 of the last 8 overall. Those are recipes when you talk about getting hot and being healthy. And you said that. You said, watch out for Prairie View. Everybody kind of buzzed over.
Yep.
So I want to make sure people acknowledge when we talk about somebody that talks basketball. I know it. I listen because I get additional information that I can't get anywhere else.
Thank you.
And just so you know, before I say it, just for full disclosure, Doc is a Prairie View grad, so he's glad y'all are hyping up. So he can.
It's
can
not
be
just
objective.
that,
No,
because anybody know what I do and know I get through it, and so I just happen to see different things. I'll be the first to tell you and say Prairie View's not playing well, like the women's basketball team. You can't hide for that, right?
No.
Now you would like to believe first year coach and things it is, but they weren't playing any well. They came to the tournament. So, no, I front face. I don't just wear the hat.
No, Doc,
But I was trying to get everybody to understand is like when you look at it, because the question was, let me get this part out. The question was, is who is the underdog or the unsung team that could potentially win the tournament? So it's not just about being a fan. I really wanted somebody to answer the question because everybody's looking at Bethune-Cookman. You also talked about the fact that, yeah, they're talented, but be careful, because they're missing a player. And people just gloss over that because they get excited and they just looking at records.
Yeah.
Let's be frank. They just looking at records. And I like people that go a little deeper into it because I'm trying to get information, to be frank, because I want to go on my show.
Yeah.
It sounds smart. And if I get somebody to help me, I go double back and I can repeat it, add something to it. The cheat code.
Well, let's go a little bit deeper into it, because if you talked about the shooting is extraordinary right now. At one point in the game, they were shooting over 60% in the first half. We're 11, 12 minutes into the game, and they're shooting it.
Yep.
The only thing that they weren't doing was shooting it for volume. Elsewise, that lead would have been what it was way earlier. But I think the thing that was most impressive to me, was their defense. They pushed Alabama outside of their comfort zone defensively. They stretched the defense. They made shots extremely difficult. They challenged every bucket. The screens, they came off of the screens and were right there in your face. And then when that ball came off of the rim, they were handsy-ransy all day long. I mean, they were touchy-feely with that ball and just creating a disruption that you never really saw Alabama A&M fall into that rhythm, that comfort zone that we've seen them in the first 2 games in the tournament. It was a challenge for them every offensive possession, and they were pushing them deep into the possession.
And Byron Smith actually noted that they switched their defense coming into the tournament, where they were just going to start switching everything 1 through 5. They didn't care. Lance, being the smallest person on the floor, is going to switch with Corey Dunning, and they're going to do it aggressively. So when you're doing that, and you're doing so, because sometimes when you get into a switching defense, they'll switch timid so you can take advantage.
Yes.
Prairie View's not even allowing that. They're jumping out when they're screens. They're attacking the ball. And even when they're being put on bigger defenders, you'll see Elijah Mitchell got put on flipping a lot.
In the lane.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. He was trying to box him out. He couldn't get him.
He was leaning on his body, applying that pressure. And so that is why we've also seen Prairie View's defense look so lethal, is they are aggressively switching every single play on the defensive end, and it's throwing teams off.
Let me ask you a follow-up question in terms of, in the press conference, I was in there with you, both, and you asked one of the questions, but both coaches talked about the physicality. Alabama A&M, Coach Jackson talking about they didn't meet the physicality, and Coach Smith for Prairie View talking about they did. Can you give us a little insight when coaches talk about physicality from being in the game and covering the game? What does that mean that from the outside we may not really understand?
Look, real quick, before you answer that, we want you to answer. We're going to get you to answer this question, and we're going to need to take us a quick break.
Okay.
We're going to get John in, and we'll bring you back. But go ahead and answer your – no, she's going to answer the question first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that it's either be the attacker or be attacked. And that's just kind of the mentality. If you're coming out into the game knowing I'm never going to back down to you, I'm going to attack you before you can come at me, it throws the other team off their tilter. And that's kind of what Prairie View did. They came out so physical. They were on them all game long. And it kind of set A&M back. They weren't expecting prepare you to come with that level of intentional physicality in the screens, in the paint. They thought they were going to get the mismatches with Flippin, Grams the third, and Eason, and they weren't giving that. So even the guards are playing like bigs because they're like, we're not going to let you bang us. And so I think it knocked A&M back a little bit to be like, wait, we weren't expecting this from you. And once a team is that physical, it's kind of hard to just turn it on when suddenly you're down by 22 points.
Yes.
So,
and high IQ defense is what you saw today.
Yes.
High IQ defense, knowing when to switch, knowing when to get that foot over the top of the screen, getting that body around. It was a master class in intensity on defense. And we didn't see them pressing.
Yep.
Not one single time did they press full court, did they press three-quarter court. They did it all in the half-court set. That's something to take home and hang your hat on.
Listen,
I love you.
Don't go
You
too
see
far.
give me that elbow right
Yeah, don't go nowhere.
She was a post player. Don't worry about that.
I know.
Look, we're going to get John in, but we want you to hang around because we're going to talk about the next game. Folks, we're going to take us a quick break. We're going to come back with John Grant from the Cricket BXY Challenge, the Cricket Celebration Bowl. Our friend, our guy. Stay tuned. We'll be right back on the BCSN Game Time.
To these colleges, and we have to fund our kids in these colleges, and we have to make sure our kids have seats in these colleges.
And what about HBCUs? You mentioned
Absolutely. You got to fund them all, and you've got to make sure they're properly funded. You know, the real reason why I went after Comcast and Charter, it didn't have anything to do with my cable networks. It didn't. What happened was a gentleman wanted to do the Black College Sports Network in partnership with the HBCUs, and Comcast did not accept it, and that would have made a lot of money for these black colleges.
Absolutely.
And it would have educated the Black College Sports Network. This is what he wanted to do. That would have educated a lot of black kids. And when they didn't do that, that's when I came off the bench and said, okay, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree. Okay? That was the real reason why I got into it, was when I saw what happened with the Black College Sports Network, which I don't own. I just knew.
Why didn't you buy it?
I just knew. I just knew that these black.
I like that talk.
Right? I knew that these black colleges were going to benefit, and these black kids were going to get the education that they deserved and not have to.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BCSN Game Time Show live from the 2026 Pepsi SWAC Basketball Tournament presented by Buick. We are here at the Gateway Center in College Park, Georgia. Another ATL. Somebody just said he is so Atlanta, kicking it with the ascot.
Then we got Soul College Park. I love this right
Look, it got to go. Of course, our friend, Mr. John Grant, Executive Director of the BXY Challenge and the Cricket Celebration Bowl. How you doing, sir?
I'm fantastic, man. Happy to have you guys in our city again.
Oh, listen, but,
Good to be here.
well, you know, hold on now. This is our city, too. But, you know, we know you mean the SWAC and all.
We talking about me. I'm invited. Baby.
Yeah.
So, listen, let's jump right into it. You and I have had some conversations. What are some of the things that folks can start looking forward to? What do you got coming up for the BXY Challenge? That's the next big event.
Around the corner.
It's a big year, man. And listen, time is flying. It's already near the end of March.
Wow.
And spring football is already in the air. I'm a football guy, so I love basketball, but I love some football. This year, we have Howard University. We'll be taking on Alabama A&M. First time these guys have met since, well, they've only met once, and that's in 1992. So we're happy to have them, those two this year.
All right, nice. So,
Is that a classic event that they've played in before?
Oh, I'm going to give you a little history. There's some history behind that game.
Okay.
In 1992, there was a young quarterback who had transferred to LA, from LA to Howard. His first game was against Morehouse in a driving rain. And he asked the coach, when are we going to reschedule? And the coach looked at him and said, son, we play football here in Georgia in the rain. So he lost that game because he had never played in the rain before, ever. The next game was against Alabama A&M down in Huntsville. And Howard at that time had the longest losing streak in the NCAA at the time. And they won that game. And Howard went on to a 7-4 season. And the next year they went undefeated. that quarterback was Jay Skywalker, who will be calling this game on behalf of ESPN in the booth on August 29th.
That's awesome.
So look at you. Look at you. Jay getting his flowers out here all over the place.
All over the place.
Getting the congratulations on that bit of history. Now, one of the things that we know, and we talked a little bit about it, this year, 2026, is the 30th anniversary of Atlanta hosting the Olympics. And I know that there's some things that are going on. Are you guys going to have any engagement as it relates to that? Or
Absolutely. You know, we're going to be opening the college football season in the Olympic Stadium, which is now Center Park Stadium, but that was the Olympic Stadium. As you know, when you come up Hank Aaron Boulevard, you drive underneath the Olympic ring, heading to that stadium. So we're going to be storytelling and celebrating the 30 years with us playing a game in that stadium as well. But also, we've already identified and have secured Olympians who participated in the 1996 game, who live in Atlanta, those that medaled, who medaled in those games. We currently now have 4, with the potential it's getting as many as 8 that are Atlanta residents as a part of the game that will be with us through the weekend. Because there were people that weren't even born when those games occurred.
Right.
And our obligation, or we want to this year, is to make sure we expose as many young people. A lot of them who are in college right now know nothing about the 1996 Centennial game.
Right.
But they will, through the storytelling and the exposure we will provide in this year's event.
all right.
Some would say that transformed Atlanta.
It did. And keep in mind, that's coming on the heels of the World Cup, which will also be 30 years to the day, played over that same period as the Olympics were here in Atlanta.
That's
so
Nice.
we're excited about that.
Well, listen, so I'm assuming that folks can just go to meacswacchallenge.com to find more information.
Absolutely.
Get in and be able to follow it. We'll know when tickets go on sale and all that stuff happens, right?
Absolutely. Tickets will be going on sale mid-April.
Okay.
And list of activities are and will be on the website, hotels, etc. But meacswacchallenge.com.
All right. Well, listen, folks, you
Did
guys know.
Did I get an invitation?
You always have an invitation. You guys have a stand. Wait a minute. You always do your show from there. So our
Just making
expectation.
sure. Just making sure.
I'm trying to figure out how to get on the big mic. Yeah, I need to
Let's
be.
go.
I need to be in the press box on that one with Skywalker.
You right. Well, listen, you guys know we're going to be there to support anything that you guys have going on. Had to get Mr. Grant on so that we can get going. We're going to take us a quick break, come back, give you the analysis for the game coming up. We're going to bring Liv back, have a little bit more conversation. It's the nightcap. 2 more tickets are about to get punched to the big day or to the championship game right here at the SWAC 2026 SWAC basketball tournament presented by Buick. We'll be back right after this.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call
Hey, we're back here live from the SWAC tournament with the president of Alcorn State University, Dr. Tracy Cook, who knows a lot about being a strong student athlete, tight end, former athlete, over 900 yards receiving in your player days.
Looks like he's still playing a little bit.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to stay in a little shape.
But Dr. Cook, tell us about your experience here and supporting your women's and men's basketball team and what it means for you to be here.
It's a great experience to be here. Great location, plenty of activities for the whole family here. No seat is a bad seat at this arena here. So we definitely want individuals to come out and support the SWAC. I think it's on a multi-year contract here. Next year, we're looking to make sure it grow and be bigger and better. Unfortunately, Alcorn State University didn't make it to the semifinals, but we rebooting and be ready for next year.
So in your opinion, how do you feel that the Braves, both men and women, did, especially with the women's team coming in as the number 2 seed? And how did you support that in your vision for athletics at Alcorn State University?
Well, trying to get Coach Wade need. We're trying to build capacity, efficiency, and customer service. My key factor what I'm trying to do on the university campus is improve the facilities and the housing capacity of faculty and staff. Because, Alcorn is located in Alcorn State University, Longman, Mississippi. Very proud of both teams' accomplishment on the men's side. He was down with 7 to 8 players. One of his key players got hurt early in the season, so he's going to be out recruiting right now to rebuild the team. Coach Kipper did a great job this year. Just unfortunately, going into this quarterfinals, we didn't play our best game.
Well, Dr. Cavill's got some questions for you around how we support the financing of it. And, we got the good crack going
always,
always. Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. I want to get a little love for that as well. But, as a dean, I want to talk a little bit about the academics.
Yes.
And what are you building down there? I've heard about some great things that you have in terms of academic programs. Share a little about your academic programs and those sport management program, which goes into sports, which I think is viewed big and huge at the master's level. But talk about some other things that you brought.
One of the initiatives I gave to the provost are redesign and look at our programming that we have. Going through looking at the different degrees we offer, we need to revamp. It's been over 20-some years since we revamped our academic programs and what the workforce is looking for. So that's one of the things we're doing, reviewing. This year we have a plan so we can make adjustments. I come from the K-12 sector, so my philosophy will always be the professors, the students determine the professors. So, you got the students here, you got one unit over in the school, got 4 or 5 overloads, individual professors, but other side, you have a shortage, say, hey, we need to bring some more professors in. I say, no, we need to make some adjustment with the oversized professors we have moving to the other side. So with the student athletes, we developed our pre-professional program. So often students so focused on going to the next level playing pro ball, but not looking at what careers out there. Because, if you're lucky and fortunate enough to get to the next level, 3-4 years, then you're out and then what you have to go. So I'm a prime example of one of those student athletes where I stayed focused by the academic side. Went on, became assistant principal, superintendent, then got my feet wet at the collegiate level with chief of staff, vice president of student affairs, and now president of the university.
That's a hell of a resume. You see him just drop that?
Oh, he dropped.
Y'all can be that. See, you talk about doing it on that side of it. I really appreciate the fact that you talk about revamping and looking at micro-credentials. This is a huge thing right now. So good job in terms of Alcorn State pushing it forward both in terms of sports, athletics, and as well as academics.
Yes, because you look at majority of HBCU, 70-some% of our students are Pell eligible. So we know what type of backgrounds they coming from. Those students, that would make HBCU so unique. We bring on students that probably wouldn't have opportunity to go to college.
This is the part I really going to enjoy. See, we get to take you a little bit outside of presidency. Now we're going to ask you about the sports. And you played it, so I'm going to listen and watch, I'm sure, a lot of basketball. Coached it, K through 12, all those kind of things. So talk about the matchups, this one coming up in this evening. What do you see or what do you look at when you're watching the basketball game?
Well, if you look at the SWAC and as it relates to the basketball bracket, from 2 through 7, pretty much you can put them in the bag, shake them up, and say, hey, any given day, any team can win. It's just the idea whether or not coaches are going to prep their players to come for the A game. Some of the games I saw matchups, some teams just got our coach and didn't have made adjustments. They kept doing the same routine and didn't make adjustment, bring a new flavor to the plays they was doing.
See, that's what happens when you have a president plays for.
Hey, Liv, can you chime in on what you see coming up in the next game based on what our honorable president has talked about?
Yeah, exactly what he said, the out-coach piece. We saw some teams bring in some new work to go against teams they already split with or got swept by. And so in this game, we've already heard Coach Leak of UAPB bring up she's already made adjustments, so we can expect to see some new against Alabama State. And from Alabama State under first-year head coach Johnetta Hayes, we know they're going to hit the glass. I'm more concerned on what else are they going to do. And so I think we'll see two very young, hungry teams get after it, and who wants to get to that championship more.
Well, you know what? I'd like to thank you for being here, Dr. Cook. Always a great time with you. For taking time to just talk with us and give us that insight from the presidential seat. Yeah. So we're going to wrap this up and get on to the game, and I'm sure you're here to enjoy the next game and enjoy your weekend, and hopefully we're going to have a great championship.
Hey, I believe in supporting programs now, so you got to let me know where I can pick that up. I'm going to donate it. I don't need it free. I'm going to donate some money to the campus, so let me know how I can get a hold of something like that. That looks nice.
Oh, I appreciate that. Hey, we're looking for some NIL money.
Hey, working it. Well, with that being said, we're back to the SWAC championship here live from College Park, or College Park, as my friend said. Yeah. So on to the game. We look forward to seeing the matchup here, and we're about probably 35 seconds from tip-off. Yeah. So back to the game.